Hi Totem, my name is Armana. I live in New York City and I'm that girl. I can walk into any room and I'm like a magnet. I can find this person, that person speaking this language, and I'm able to connect with them because beauty is love and I'm filled with so much love. There's so much more similarities between us than there are differences. It doesn't matter what country you come from, what culture you come from, we're able to connect on anything. Like I'm a DJ and we can all know when there's a good beat, when there's a good vibe, because everyone in the room is gonna shake their ass. Pussy by Bad Gal, because I got a good one. You probably guessed it, Bad Gal from Barcelona, because she's La Reina, obviously. Mis tacos favoritas es bistec con queso. Duh, bistec is life. As a beautiful, gorgeous, transgender woman, the biggest obstacle I'd face in New York City is the social anxiety you get when you go out in public. The way people see you, the way people perceive you, it's hard. So I feel like a lot of us, it takes us extra time to step out of the house because we not only have to get ready to look presentable and more presentable than this average cis person, we also have to deal with being perceived all the time. When I step on the street, when I step into the subway, when I walk into a library, everyone's gonna look at me different than a cis person just because. And I wish people would maybe focus more on the love that we spread in the world than just a physical appearance, which means nothing. It's not my fault I look fabulous. My process when I'm leaving the house is pretty much having like that mantra in your head that you're that girl, you're that beautiful person, and let that personality shine. You know, you play a good song, you put on some eyeliner, some mascara, you put on a cute cunty boot, and you're ready to go. And I'm able to face the world now a lot easier than before, and every day gets better and better because I'm more and more comfortable. Feeling safety in the streets for me looks like making sure there's something in my bag for protection. Every girl should have something in their bag, and also having that strong armor, because unfortunately as a femme person, whether you're cis or trans, you have to walk around with armor. And I don't mean that thing in your bag, I mean the face, the personality, the way you walk, the way you step out in public. If you walk around like you're that bitch, because we all are, no one's gonna mess with you. When Totem magazine and I first met, I had a beard, I was claiming to be non-binary, I was just in a different headspace. And there's so many conversations I have with queer and trans people in the industry. For example, Cesar, we've had amazing conversations on just being more comfortable with ourselves. And I always come back to the word possibility. A lot of the times when you're a child in an immigrant family, you're brown, you're black, you don't have that possibility, that imagination, because your family doesn't allow you to get to that point. But now that I moved to the city and I'm on my own and I've allowed myself to have that possibility, I've met so many beautiful trans and queer people that just live in their truth. I need to live my life in my truth, and the more I live in my truth, the more gorgeous I get. Being a DJ to me means that I can bring back my power in my life and bring back my voice. I feel like when I started transitioning and living my life more as a femme person, I feel like the more I talked in the room, people wouldn't actually listen to me unless they were part of the community. But when I stand behind decks and I have little messages in my set, whether they know it or not, I'm brainwashing people into putting that love and putting that prosperity in their life, in their heart. They have more abundance of love and light for people that look like me when they leave the room without knowing it. And I'm doing that because I'm standing behind the decks and I'm making sure they understand I'm not going anywhere and you can't escape me because you paid for a ticket to watch me play. My number one step to stay this way and to have that high energy drive is being sober. I go to all my sets sober. I live a pretty much sober life, and I feel like most people think that I'm not, because a lot of DJs fall into some other things in order to keep that energy up, but I need to have that caffeine in me, and that's pretty much all I need. And I also need to tell myself that I'm performing for that younger queer kid that's gonna be watching me one day that wants to do the shit that I do. And coming from a Pakistani household where they told you shouldn't go into a creative life because you're not gonna make it and people aren't gonna love you was a lie. And I need to prove to them that if they're watching me being this 39-year-old old lady behind the decks going crazy, that they can do it too when they get to my age. This might not come as the easiest advice, but my best advice to younger queer and trans people is to use your parents as much as you can. If you're living in a household and you're safe and you're not suffering from any abuse, make sure you're using that house rent-free as long as you can, groceries free as long as you can, because once you're outside of the house, you're paying for everything on your own. So if that does mean sacrificing, putting your queerness out there just to seek safety financially until you can do that, do that. I'm telling you, once you get out of the house, run like you've never run before. So my tattoo here is a Urdu word called izzat. Izzat basically means your honor. So a lot of the times it's used towards the queer community from Desi people to attack them. They'll be like, oh, you're gay. What about our izzat, our family honor? Oh, you're gonna wear that miniskirt. You don't care about our izzat? How are we supposed to walk around with our head held high? And that word has been used to taunt so many people, not just queer people, but femmes, people with bigger bodies in our community, just people that are ostracized. And so I say, fuck your izzat. I don't care about family honor, I care about my honor. When I think about the things that I did in my life or the things that I am doing in my life, I think about the love, I think about how I'm spreading kindness towards people, and that has nothing to do with family honor. So fuck izzat. I love love. The way I see the industry and the creativity here in the city is like no other. But I think it's really important to say, whenever you're stepping into any industry, whether it's me, like a DJ in the fashion world, a model, content, being humble and being kind is so important. New York City is filled with so many people. It's so easy to get lost and not know who you are. I think anybody that watches my sets, anybody that looks at a picture of me, and anybody that stops me on the street and talks to me can see right through it. And for the longest time, I questioned myself on my genuineness and if people are going to actually perceive me in a city full of millions of people. But I learned there's so many other people like me that have just as pure of a heart, and I've surrounded myself with these people and I connect with these people, and I love that I'm able to stay true to myself no matter how high I get or no matter how low I get as well. We all have a flop era. What was the question exactly, sorry? Hi Totem, thank you so much for the lovely interview. I love you guys so much and we've come a long way and I can't wait to see what we come up with next. This outfit makes me feel calm, but I was saying earlier,